This is the commercial project we're going to be working on to do some structural elements and then also add some phasing and options. So because we're dealing with an existing conditions, I want to take a moment in this video to explain the kind of visibility states that you want to set up for the existing conditions. So what we're looking at right now is a 3D view. And the 3D view appears normally. The reason it appears normally is in the view setup here. If you scroll down to the bottom, I have this view set up to show all for phase filter, but more importantly I have the phase set to existing. So everything drawn here is existing conditions to the building. If I were to switch this to a new construction phase and apply it, what happens is the building grays out, and all the grayed out elements are the existing elements, which makes sense when we're dealing with something as a new and existing construction. We want to see a marked difference in visual representation of the new information or the new things that are being added as opposed to existing conditions. But in order to do this and to be able to see the model in both setups, we're going to have to create multiple copies of the same view and set those phases to the appropriate phase as we build and add some additional existing conditions that I've left out purposefully so we have a chance to add them ourselves. So I'm going to switch this back to the existing conditions and apply so that we see them as a normal model. If we scroll up to the top under floor plans, I'm going to go to level 1, and you'll see that level 1 is grayed out, which means that it is set up for showing new construction. But then I have another copy of level 1. All I did was right click on the level 1 setting and duplicated the view and then renamed it level 1 existing. If we double click on level 1 existing, it's exactly the same layout, but everything looks black and white like we're used to seeing it when we're dealing with regular floor plans. The reason for this, again, is because the phase has been set to existing. How objects end up on either existing or new conditions has to do with what you have the view set to. So for instance, if I were to add a door in this view, because it's set up for existing conditions, that door is considered an existing door now. So as soon as I go into level 1, it appears gray as if that door had existed before. If I'm in this level, while my setup or phase is set to new construction and I decide to add a door, then that door is going to appear black and white, and it will also automatically show a dashed line in between the doors to indicate the area of the wall that would need to be demolished in order to accommodate the door. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how important it is to have the view set up for the phase that you plan on working on. Let's pretend we had a situation where we put a door on the wrong phase. How do you correct that situation? If you select that door and you go down to the phasing section of the options, you will notice that phase created will be set to existing. If I were to switch that to new construction right now, then that door is going to behave the same way as the last one that I just erased. So that's the way that you move things from one phase to another if you happen to place them on the wrong phase. All right, I think that gives us enough to go on just to have an understanding about how we're going to need to use multiple views in order to put this information in. What I'd like to do is I want to add some structural elements to this building. So we're looking at it so far, there's no floor system, there's no ceiling system, or I'm going to pretend that there's a second floor in here or a mezzanine level, and then we'll create a roof system. Within that floor system, we're going to use some structural elements. After we do that, then we'll enter into the phasing portion of the assignment and go through that through a series of videos as well.